Hi, I'm Abby, and I want to share my story with you. I'm 34 years old, but this story took place a couple of years ago. It all started with my now ex-husband, Dennis, and I met through a blind date set up by our mutual friend. It was one of those magical moments where you instantly click with someone. We went on multiple dates, and it didn't take long for us to make our relationship official. We shared the same values and had a similar sense of humor. I truly believed I had found my soulmate. When Dennis proposed to me, I was overjoyed. Through tears of joy, I said yes. However, while planning our wedding, my father insisted that we sign a prenuptial agreement. He made it clear that he wouldn't pay for the wedding unless we did so. This caused some tension between Dennis and me. I don't understand why your father is so adamant about this. It feels like he doesn't trust me, I said. It's not that he doesn't trust you. My father went through a terrible divorce, and he wants to protect me from a similar fate. He doesn't want me to lose everything if things don't work out, Dennis explained. But doesn't signing a prenup imply that we don't have faith in our marriage lasting? I thought we were in this together, for better or for worse. I know, but it's not about doping our love. It's about being prepared for any unforeseen circumstances. It's a way to safeguard both of our interests and ensure that we're making informed decisions. I guess I can see where your father is coming from. It's just hard for me to accept that our marriage has to involve legalities like this. I know it's not romantic, but it's about being responsible and practical. Our relationship is strong, and signing a prenup doesn't change that. It's about protecting each other and our future no matter what happens. All right, I'll sign the prenup if it means that much to you and your father. Also, we do need his help if we want to have our dream wedding. Thanks, babe. Our wedding day was perfect. We danced, laughed, and celebrated with our friends and family. As time passed, Dennis and I were doing well in our relationship. We had good jobs and finally had enough money to start thinking about having kids. We were so excited about the idea of becoming parents and giving our children a happy home. My dad was incredibly kind and gave us our house as a wedding present. He gifted the property to me and told me that it was to help kickstart Dennis and my financial stability. It was a big deal because it meant we didn't have to worry about paying for a mortgage. This freed us up to focus on our dreams of having a family. The thought of having children brought us so much happiness. We talked for hours about how we would raise them and all the love and care we could give them. Every day, we looked forward to the day we would bring a little one into our lives and create beautiful memories together. However, starting a family proved to be a difficult journey for us. As the months went by, it became harder and harder for me. Every time the pregnancy test showed that I wasn't expecting a baby, I felt a deep sadness because I wanted to become a mom. The dream of having a child seemed to slip away, and it made us feel so down. I turned to Dennis for support, hoping you would understand and comfort me. Babe, I feel inadequate, and it's getting to me. You shouldn't be feeling that way. We have plenty of time to figure things out. There's no need to be upset about it. I need your support and understanding right now. I want us to find solutions together, not just ignore my feelings. I know it's tough, but we'll figure it out. You're overthinking. Let's not make this a big deal. Our fights became more frequent as the pressure of not being able to conceive got to both of us. Dennis became easily irritated and would snap at me for no reason. The loving and understanding connection we had seemed to disappear, and it made me feel even more alone. I tried to talk to Dennis about how this journey was affecting us emotionally. I wanted us to support each other and find ways to cope together. Hey babe, how are you feeling about everything? Honestly, I'm just tired. We've been trying for so long, and there are no results. It's frustrating. I mean, we have so many dreams, and I want to see them in real life so bad. It's right there within our reach, but still, it's so far away. Yeah, I understand that. It's tough for both of us, but we're in this together, right? No, you know what? You don't understand. I know for a fact that there's nothing wrong with me. It's your body that's causing the issues. Do you even know what it's like to not get what you want because of someone else's fault? Wow, okay. That's hurtful. I were a team supporting each other. Through this, I mean I'm just as frustrated as you, if not more. I wanted to talk to you about how you felt so we could comfort each other, but clearly you'd rather blame me than comfort me. Whatever. I need some space. His words hurt me deeply. It felt like he was attacking me personally and confirming all the doubts and insecurities I had. I just wanted him to see how much I was hurting and hold me, assuring me that we were in this together. But instead, I faced his dismissiveness and hurtful comments. After our big fight, things were really tense between Dennis and me. We hardly spoke, and Dennis even started sleeping in the guest bedroom. It made me feel so upset, angry, and frustrated. In the midst of all this, I decided to take control of the situation. I booked an appointment with a doctor to talk about fertility treatments. It gave me a glimmer of hope, a little spark of light in the midst of the darkness we were going through. But when I talked to my insurance company, they said I had to wait for a whole year before I could start the treatments. It was disappointing. It felt like another obstacle in an already difficult journey. Still, I held on to that tiny bit of hope. Knowing that there was a chance for me and Dennis to have a baby together gave me strength and determination. As I headed back home from the doctor's office, I couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and nervousness. I wanted to share this news with Dennis to let him know that there was still hope for us and that we could face this challenge together. Despite all the hurts and anger, I still longed for his support and understanding. As I got closer to my home, I couldn't help but notice a strange car in the driveway. I was confused and worried. I knew that the car didn't belong to any of our friends or family, and Dennis never told me about inviting anyone over. I cautiously walked inside, hoping to find answers from Dennis about the unfamiliar vehicle. What I saw shattered my world. Right there in our kitchen, Dennis was kissing another woman. It felt like a punch to the gut. My heart sank, and I was overcome with a mix of emotions that were too overwhelming to process. Strangely, I felt surprisingly calm. I took out my phone, quietly taking pictures of the painful scene before clearing my throat to let Dennis and the woman know I was there. Dennis looked shocked when he saw me. He was caught red-handed in his act of cheating, but before he could explain, I interrupted him and demanded to know who the woman was. "You guys look cozy, so tell me, babe, who is this woman?" "Oh, come on, don't be like that, Abby." "Hi, I'm Tiffany." "Tiffany from?" "Oh no, I never knew him before. Dennis and I met through a dating app." "How long has this affair been going on, Dennis?" "It's been 6 months, Abby." "Okay. Send me more." My chest felt heavy, as if it was caving in. While I had been dealing with my pain and desperately needing Dennis's support, he had chosen to betray me with someone he barely knew. It was a deep wound, tearing apart the love and trust we had built. At that moment, I knew I couldn't stay in that house, surrounded by the painful reminders of our shattered dreams. Quietly, I gathered my things and sought solace at my father's house, hoping to find comfort in the arms of a loved one. I went to my father's house, feeling overwhelmed by my emotions. I couldn't hold back my tears and collapsed into his comforting arms. He hugged me tightly, letting me cry on his shoulder for what felt like a long time. When I finally calmed down, he gently asked me what had happened. I told him everything about how Dennis had neglected me and cheated on me when I needed him the most. I described the painful moment of catching them kissing in our kitchen. My father was just as angry as I was. He wanted to go confront Dennis, to defend me with his fists, but I stopped him, knowing that violence wouldn't solve anything. I told him it wasn't worth it, that the damage was already done. My father understood and sat beside me in silence, offering his support. In that quiet moment, my father reminded me of something that made me grateful. Remember the prenup I made you sign. It may not have been pleasant, but it is protecting. You know. Yeah, Dad, I remember. I never thought it would come to this. I know, my dear, but at least you won't have to start your life from scratch when you leave Dennis. It's ironic, isn't it? I felt kind of mad that you were forcing me to sign something like that. It felt like I was saying that I didn't believe in my relationship. But now I'm grateful for it. I never thought I'd ever feel that way about the prenup, but here we are. Sometimes we can't predict what the future holds, but in this case it's providing some much-needed security for you. Who would have thought? It's a silver lining. Abby, you're strong, and you'll find your way through this. The prenup may not have seemed important then, but it's proving its worth now. Thank you, Dad. The rest of the night was spent trying to find comfort and distraction. We shared ice cream, my favorite treat, and watched my favorite shows. It helped me momentarily forget the harsh reality I was facing. The next day, my father took charge and found a good divorce lawyer for me. We went to the lawyer's office together, and it felt like the final step in ending my connection with Dennis. Mixed emotions filled me as I signed the divorce papers, sadness, relief, and determination, all at once. When my father dropped me off at my place, he reminded me to stay strong. He assured me that he was just a phone call away if I needed help or if Dennis tried to hurt me again. I couldn't help but let out a small laugh, thanking him for his unwavering support. At that moment, I felt a glimmer of hope, knowing I had someone who would always be there for me. Walking through the front door, I was met with the sight of Tiffany still in my home. I had to remind myself to breathe, to hold back the urge to collapse into a panic attack or lash out at them both. I still couldn't understand how she could continue to stay with Dennis after finding out he was married. Dennis emerged from our bedroom. He looked confused when he saw me. Oh, hey Abby, what are you doing here? You mean what am I doing in my own house? Well, I just didn't think you would be back so soon after. You know, after I found you cheating on me. Yeah, no. I'm here to hand you divorce papers. All right. Let me go find a pen to sign it. I couldn't believe how casually he treated the end of our marriage. I wondered where the man I once loved had gone. He returned with a pen and signed the papers without so much as a glance at me. My heart ached. Did all our years together mean nothing to him? Was one small issue enough for him to fall out of love and move on so quickly? Dennis cleared his throat, which pulled me out of my thoughts. He told me he had something to tell me. I quirked an eyebrow. You need to move out. Tiffany and I found out she's pregnant with twins, and we need space to live and raise our kids. Are you serious? I can't believe your audacity, and to rub my infertility in my face like this. Stop making such a fuss. It'll be easier for you to find a small place than for us to find a bigger one for all of us. The house is in my name, and thanks to the prenup we signed, you won't get a cent from it. You have no right to anything I own. Well, it's not fair. I should have some claim to it. Yeah, you cheated on me, Dennis. You broke our vows. I'm giving you a week to pack up and leave with everything you own. That's more than fair. As the realization of the consequences hit him, his face went pale. Tiffany, who had been listening in on our conversation, hopped off the couch and walked over to Dennis. She looked just as shocked as him. What does this mean, Dennis? Have you been lying to me? No, I haven't been lying. I promise you we'll be fine. I have enough money to get us an apartment, to get a life together. In this big, beautiful house. I didn't sign up for this. Look, it's a difficult situation, but we'll figure it out. We'll find a place for our growing family. Not wanting to witness that argument any longer, I left silently, clutching the signed divorce papers in my hand. I was saddened by the loss, but I couldn't deny the satisfaction of creating a rift between Dennis and Tiffany. I was grateful to my father for insisting on the prenup, for it was my shield in this storm. Over the following months, I focused on healing. I cut off all contact with Dennis, blocking him from every aspect of my life. When our friends asked what happened, I simply stated that we were too different and had decided to separate. But Dennis, bitter about not receiving anything from the divorce, spread rumors that I had cheated on him. Our friends believed him and turned their backs on me. I had shown kindness to Dennis despite his betrayal, but when I discovered the rumors he was spreading, I had reached my limit. I gathered all our friends in a group chat and shared the pictures I had taken of Dennis and Tiffany kissing in our kitchen months before our divorce. Their perspective shifted instantly. They realized the truth and apologized for their judgment. Dennis, unable to face the consequences of his actions, called me from Tiffany's phone, furious that his friends had abandoned him. "What is wrong with you? Our friends have all abandoned me because of what you did. I chose not to reveal the fact that you cheated on me while I was at my worst to our friends, but you decided to spread rumors about me instead. I was simply playing your own game. You're heartless. You're just as bad as me." "No, I'm not. I've shown more self-control and decency than you ever have. Goodbye." I continued to rebuild my life, focusing on my own happiness and personal growth. A year later, a mutual friend named Max informed me that Dennis had been struggling. Dennis had asked Max to babysit his kids because he had an emergency to attend to. When Dennis returned to collect his children, he confided in Max that Tiffany had left him for another man, leaving him alone with their kids. Dennis revealed that Tiffany had only stayed with him because she thought he had a lot of money, but when she discovered the truth, it was too late to terminate the pregnancy. Max told me that Dennis had looked beyond exhausted. Upon hearing this news, a sense of satisfaction washed over me. Karma had come back to bite Dennis in a way he never expected. It wasn't a moment of revenge. It was a reminder that we reap what we sow. Now, as I share my story with you all, I want to emphasize that no matter how difficult the journey is, there is always hope for healing and justice. I've learned that self-worth and resilience can carry you through the darkest times. I've learned the importance of protecting yourself and your assets, as painful as it may be to consider such possibilities. And I've learned that true friends will stand by your side, even when faced with lies and betrayal.